So it's like 2 minutes after 7. This is the Shrewsbury Public Library Board of Trustees meeting. It's November 19th, 2024. My name is Lisa Powers, also known as Elizabeth Powers. I'm the chair of the Board of Library Trustees. The first item on our agenda is review and act to approve. Oh, and I should also add that Priya Ratham is on a much-needed vacation, so Mike Zeller is, the assistant director, is chairing our meeting today. Thank you so much, Mike.
You're welcome.
So the first item on our agenda is review and approve the minutes for the October 22nd meeting.
I move to accept the minutes of the meeting.
Thank you, Mo. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The minutes pass. Thank you, Barb. The minutes were wonderful. The next item on our agenda is review and act to approve the report of the director's activities for October 2024. And
I forgot to say one thing about the minutes though. A great job with the minute taker. They were really good minutes. Yes.
they were really good minutes.
Right, Barbara?
Agreed.
Excellent.
All thanks to this fine gentleman recording this.
Oh.
I get to review it on a loop, and whatever I've missed, I'll fill in, so.
I was
Oh,
like,
that's
hey, please do
It's
this.
very good. Well, you did a great job. I
Well, thank you.
I didn't want
Very
to let that go without mentioning it.
And I
Sorry.
thank you kindly.
Thank you. Yes. I used to take the minutes. It's a lot of work.
It is.
We have to corner me.
So yeah, the library director's report of activities for October 2024 is packed with different meetings, and I did just want to mention that April and I met with Priya in late October to go over her progress towards her goals for the year, and I asked her if she wanted me to discuss that at today's meeting, but I think she'd like to defer it to another meeting. But I did just want to say that, I mean, it's incredible all the roles that Priya and Mike take on with the library, just from keeping the library as a community hub, as a civic hub, as a literary hub, our amazing community outreach with Diana Karras, facility management, personnel management, fiscal management, relationship with 3 boards, the Board of Library Trustees, the Foundation Board, and the Friends of the Library, and also continually evaluating policies and, amending them and updating them. That she just juggles a lot, and Mike as well, all the staff, so, but we will save that discussion, I think, for probably the December meeting.
Just have one question, Mike. I don't know if you're going to be able to answer it, because I don't know if Priya shared any updates, but I was actually thinking of Scout Felix's Eagle project the other day, and I note that she met with the Historic District Commission. I'm wondering if she gave you any update on that.
I believe they have to have another meeting.
Okay. I'm just wondering if his project is still the one that he presented to us. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, it's
Okay.
still that.
It is stuff.
Yep, it is still that. The tables.
Well, I'm moving the director's report.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? It passes. Thank you. The next item on our agenda is programs and services. The director's report of programs and services offered October 2024. It is a 3-page report of all the many programs that are offered at the library. All very interesting. Do you have a favorite program, Mike? I'm just curious.
Well, we've had a lot of good ones. Quickly skim through to see which ones jump out at me. Well, I know the trial of Lizzie Borden and Wax and Hacks, the talk by Justice Dennis Curran. He's been doing a lot of legal lectures at the library lately, and I know he's really built up quite the fan base. So
I'm a fan of his.
yes,
He's great.
He's got a lot.
He's really good.
It's been exciting to do a lot of the board gaming and tabletop gaming, to bring that in. A lot of libraries around the region have had a lot of success with that, so it's been nice to roll that out with the New Game Plus, and if we had any of the D&D ones in October. We've got some D&D stuff in November. And it was great to have Mike Perna in to talk about SPAG, local hero.
Excuse me, did that get televised by any chance?
Oh, Mark said he was going to, but I think...
I think there'd be a lot of interest. That's
Yeah.
why I asked.
Yeah, he said he was going to record it. I wasn't there myself, so I can't remember off
Yeah,
the
I
top
hope
of
it
my head
didn't
if
get recorded.
that happened.
Yeah.
I'd like to watch.
I do want to apologize too. We did lose Jeff. We're having a lot of... Yeah, I'm working on getting him back though, so we'll see.
Oh, you try to get him back. I just thought I'd mention that the Friends of the Library sponsored a talk by John Headley of the Worcester County Bee Association, and I thought it was very good. I really enjoyed it. He was very passionate about beekeeping.
Jeff's calling me. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah. Apologize to him for me.
Hi, Jeff.
We're really...
He's working on it. He's trying to get you back on. Okay. All right. Oh, good. I'm glad you fixed me. Okay, bye-bye.
Maybe you could just
Yeah,
leave
you
it
can
on.
leave it on.
Just
I
leave
would.
it on speakerphone. And then
You want me to do that?
Start?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could. I mean,
All
I'll
right,
keep
that's a
working
good idea.
on this in the
All
meantime,
right.
but it's... Yeah, well, for the foundation meeting last night, we were fine.
We've done that at book club lots of times, Deb.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah, so the programs are amazing.
Such a great range of
Yes.
types of
Jeff,
programs.
I'm just gonna put you
Adults
on
and
my
kids.
speakerphone, so at least you can hear what's going on. Okay, all right, okay, yeah. Okay, can you hear us?
Okay.
All right.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
We just wanted to go back to where we were. That's right. So,
So, everybody speak up.
Another big highlight of the calendar in October, of course, was author Chris Bojalian's talk, sponsored by the Foundation Board on October 1. I know we talked about it a little bit at the last meeting, but he really gave an amazing talk. So thank you, Mo. It's really a great program.
Yeah, it was a great turnout as well,
Yes.
and we got some good positive feedback from the people that came. There was a long line. You stayed pretty late signing books.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it was a really great night.
very dynamic speaker. Amazing. Okay, any other comments on the programs and services offered in October?
I just have a general question. I know Mike used to do a lot of this. How do you find speakers, these external people? Do they come to you or you go to them or how do you find them?
Yeah, there's a lot of folks, they do reach out to me. I mean, there's definitely a network of people throughout the region that kind of jump from library to library. Yeah, just a lot of networking, people who know people, that kind of thing. There is a service that I'm trying to get us to use more. It just takes a little bit of effort. It's called Creative Ground. It's a free service that's offered to all libraries in the area that kind of organizes library presenters and performers and things. So we're trying to phase that in a little bit more, using that to reach out to folks with a little more intentionality. It can be a little tricky sometimes, but yeah, a lot of it is stuff that either other librarians recommend, or they reach out to me, or people in the community recommend, other librarians from outside the region recommend, that kind of thing.
It's such a breadth of topics sometimes. I'm always impressed. It's like, how do we find them?
Yeah.
think we need to approve this list of programs and services.
No.
No. Okay, so unless anybody has any further comments, we will move on to the next item on the agenda, which is financial and legislative. Review the year-to-date report. So, yeah, I mean, nothing jumped out at me, but it looks like we're on track. I don't know if you have anything to add, Mike?
No, Priya and I talked about it. We had an acquisitions meeting recently to go over our collection development, and everything's pretty much on track. There's usually a big jump in that around Christmas time for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Want to make sure we ask
Did you
Jeff.
have, yeah, did you have anything, Jeff?
You know, at the very end, the next line up from the very end, that percent used there is 76.2%.
Yeah.
And that one kind of jumped out at me a bit, and I'm just wondering if it's all due to the lines at the beginning about, that are all like salary, longevity, and professional services that we come down. I'm just wondering if that's what threw that number up to
Yeah.
76%.
Yes,
Yeah,
professional
no,
services.
And we're about halfway through the fiscal year, right?
Yeah, it's that, and it's just the way that.
It's just because it's already,
Yeah.
it's
It's
just
already
allocated.
out.
Yeah, yeah, and there's a few, I think, where we go over in a few spots. I think that's just because that's like people's longevity increases that just hasn't been folded in yet.
I just wanted to confirm, that's what I was thinking.
Yep.
Thank you.
I can make a motion to approve.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. The next item on the agenda is facility equipment and grounds. I don't know if you have any updates for us, Mike, maybe about the custodial
Yes.
situation?
Yes, so we did just get, as of 3 days ago, 4 days ago, something like that, a new custodian. His name's Michael Fitzpatrick. He's worked in the schools for a few years, but he's worked in municipal custodian work for a long time. He's been doing a great job so far. He's been picking up things very quickly. Alawar, our old custodian, came back to give him a little bit of training, but yeah, he seems really game and like he's anxious to get involved in things, so it's made a big difference.
Oh, that is fantastic news. That's been a problem, so, yeah, no, I'm really delighted to hear that.
Yeah, no, and Public Buildings has been very cooperative through the whole process and has been, really doing their best, because they're always short-staffed too, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was actually faster than I thought.
Yeah, well, he was an internal candidate, so that tends to speed things up.
Just in time for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So grateful.
yes, that
Yes,
is
we-
really good news.
Well, because you've mentioned in the past, and I think it's very important to keep reminding the facilities department that aside from the schools, we are the most utilized building, and we're open 6 or 7 days a week, unlike schools.
Yes.
So the need here, are we even at pre-pandemic staffing for custodial services?
No.
I don't
My
believe we
understanding
are.
is this person is just a replacement,
Right.
but not the add-on that we've been asking.
Right.
for.
Correct,
Yeah.
okay, okay. And I, as someone on the facilities subcommittee, would like to pursue continuing to get to a situation where we have custodial services in this building that were at pre-pandemic levels, since
At least.
right, especially since our utilization numbers are quite clear that we are well above 2019. So,
The building size has increased.
Yep.
Because of that.
yep, so,
Yeah, so I think pre-pandemic, we had a full-time custodian. It was sort of Monday through Friday days, and then as well a night custodian, and a weeknight and weekend custodial services.
We had the contract, like cleaners, we didn't have a specifically assigned.
Right, contract cleaners, right, and I don't,
That's, I think, contract town makes, I think, for that group.
While we were looking for a replacement, the contract evening cleaners did come back, but they have stopped again now. Now that we
Yeah.
have a full-time custodian.
So now the only custodial services currently utilized by the Shrewsbury Public Library is one full-time custodian Monday to Friday during the day.
Yes, yeah. We can reach out to public buildings if we have like big events on the weekends or big events at night to get in somebody on like overtime, but that's the only regularly scheduled service that we
Okay.
have, yeah.
Thank you for that update.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other updates, Mike, on facility, equipment, and grounds?
I can't remember whether the last trustee meeting, if we had, a number of us before they hired the new custodian actually went around and cleaned up the grounds ourselves, so.
That's awesome.
It actually wasn't that bad out there, so
Yeah,
our community takes care of public property, I guess.
yeah, yeah. I know you guys, have so many stresses on your time, so it's just one more thing.
Yeah, but I think that this new gentleman, Mr. Fitzpatrick, seems like he's gonna do a great job.
Good, excellent. The next item on our agenda is gifts and grants. Any updates with that?
Again, I don't remember if Priya mentioned this at all, but the Creative Communities grant that we received back in October of 2023 has concluded. We had our big makerspace launch on November 9th, which was very, very successful. We had about 100 people come to the main area, and then another 50 or 60 go to some of the satellite parts of the kickoff. So not sure how many overlapped, but potentially we had between 100 and 150 people
That's amazing.
attending that event. I'm in the process of finalizing the report that we have to submit to the state about that, but the whole process went pretty well. I think it was a success. Owe a lot to our new IT staff, Hedda Monahan and Jess Smith, who really hit the ground running. They were hired like right after we were awarded the grant, so weren't involved in the planning and basically had to come on board immediately and start participating. But they did a fantastic job. They were the ones who did the lion's share of the planning for the kickoff, and worked out the policy and all of that kind of stuff. So it's been a big success. And yeah, we will be having makerspace services immediately.
That's awesome. Amazing.
Very
Okay, so the next item on our agenda is personnel. I know we have the new custodian. Any other updates on personnel?
No new personnel hires at the moment.
And the Shrewsbury Public Library Foundation, Mo, do you have any updates?
Yeah, we've got a few things going on that I thought I'd share with you. Just in terms of, it's really more like a grant. This is, the Goldrick family, as you recall, has made 2 gifts so far, and we just got a really nice long letter from them. And I thought I'd just read the shorter version, that they also had a shorter version that we're gonna, I think, edit and include in our annual report. But I thought I'd just read it to you because it's just very impressive. During the pandemic lockdown, my siblings, family, and I met virtually more often than we would have met in person. We discussed the fund created to honor our mother after her death and realized that there was not a similar fund to honor our father. Discussion ensued. After some extended conversations, we decided to create a fund in Shrewsbury, the town we grew up in, and to do it at the Shrewsbury Public Library, a place we all had fond memories of, and where 2 of us worked. After much more discussion, it was decided to create a fund to support continuing education for library staff, both full and part-time. The strong preference is to support those who are staff, those without the master's degree in library science, with the further preference to support those who who are taking courses in the library support staff certification program and actively working on earning a designation of certificate library support staff by the American Library Association Allied Professional Association. And they put in contributions can be made too. So they're actually raising money in addition. And there's, I think, 6 siblings all contributing to this. So it's almost really a legacy gift, isn't it, that they're making to the library, which is really, just wonderful that people who got so much out of their experience at the library are sharing that, with us. So thought I'd just mention that. I think we're going to do something in an annual report on it. Speaking of the annual report, we'll be working on that already. We've started. And like last year, I'm sure it's going to be a very impressive document that will help the community really understand that the trustees and the foundation and the friends work together. And we have slightly different roles, but we are a team. And that theme will try to get across. And Priya is settled on hubs, right?
Yes.
She discussed that with you? You want to talk a little bit about what her idea is? No, you don't have to.
I'll save that one for her next time.
Okay, all right. So like a community hub, we're a community center hub, and she's got 2 or 3 other of those designations. So the annual report is underway. We sent out the annual appeal letter yesterday. A lot of the foundation board members came in during the course of the week and went through the whole list of people that we send out. What are the labels, And if you saw somebody that you knew, you'd write a note. So some of you may get notes, but we're hopeful that we're going to continue a pattern of increasing the annual appeal by 10% or more each year. So we'll see how that all works out, but the annual appeal letter has gone out. And the legacy fund, our goal is to get at least 2 to 4 new legacy givers during the course of the year. And I'm just going to pass around. This is the legacy plan giving form that we've developed. So any of you that want to fill it out are welcome. We have more of those where that came from. So we're always looking for new members, and it's easy to leave a legacy. It doesn't have to be a fortune. If a lot of people give a little, it adds up to a lot, and that's the way it really works. But the biggest thing really to talk about tonight is we had a conversation about the gala again and trying to do a fundraising event that we hope would become a major event in the town of Shrewsbury. But ultimately, we ended up with kind of it's a lot of work. The gala's a lot of work, and I think people are feeling like it's pretty hard to jump into it, right? Worcester has a gala every year, and Worcester's raising a lot of private money to support their various programs. I think they're raising on an annual basis somewhere between $500 and $1 million. So they raise a lot of money.
Is that
Their
for the
gala
library?
raises $70,000 alone. That one event raises $70,000. Now they have a full-time development officer. So just to keep in the back of your minds is that, there's a lot of work that goes into all of these things, and we really probably are going to be thinking about at least a part-time event person if we're going to move in the direction of doing something like the gala. But I think last night we kind of came, after a lot of discussion, we kind of came down to, we're not really sure what we want to do. And the gala is at the high end of what we want to do. You've all been to galas, so you know how extensive they are, how much work they are to put together and so forth. All the way from that to a parlor party, we have Autumn as an event planner. That's what she does for her work for nonprofits. And, she mentioned that, and I thought that was a great thought. And there were 2 or 3 other ideas along those lines. And so we're really thinking maybe what we need is to start out with is just an event that's planned, maybe here at the library, to invite all the right people to have a good time, celebrate the library, and raise some money, get some corporate sponsors, but not quite as dramatic as a full-blown gala. Now, having said that, what we ended up with is no certitude about what we're recommending. So the thought is that, and no matter what we do, we're going to need a group of people to work on it. And really, it would be an all-hands-on-deck exercise. So that we'd really need people from the trustees, from the foundation, from the friends, okay? So we asked people last night to sign up if they would serve on a committee that would meet 2 or 3 times and come back in the spring with a recommendation on what we should do and what would it look like. And so that at meetings, it's kind of hard to flush out something like this. You really need to have a meeting just on this to kind of sort it out, okay? And I see a lot of you are shaking your heads, which is good. But what I'm going to do is pass around a sign-up sheet, okay? If you're interested in serving on the committee, please sign up. And then we're going to have to be in touch with Vanessa to, pass it around at the Friends. And once we have a group identified, by the first of the year, we should be able to have a meeting after the first of the year. Once we have the whole group identified, we'll kind of sort out a couple of co-chairs so that there's some structure to it. And the hope would be that we'd have, in the spring of next year, a recommendation on what to do the following fiscal year. Does that all kind of make sense? So that's the end of my presentation is sign up.
A call to action. That's the sign of a good presentation, Mo. It should end with a call to action.
Yeah, that's right. Great. All fine.
Thank you. I think that's a great idea, and that's amazing how much the Worcester Public Library raises. It'd be great if we could do that much.
Yeah. I know we can do better than what we have been doing, but, and last year we had a good year because we got an increase in the annual appeal, but we also got a couple of larger gifts.
Yeah.
Like the one from the McAvoy Foundation for $15,000. We did send out appeal letters to the foundations, not grant requests, but I signed a few requests to what my friend Lana Fletcher. At the end of the year, sometimes they have money left over from what they allocate. And that's what happened with the McAvoy Foundation. So last year, they decided to give it to us because the McAvoy family is from Shrewsbury originally, and they supported the library, and that's how that kind of transpired. But that led to, okay, let's send a little note to all of them, might have a little left over at the end of the year. At some point, if we have a specific project, like they all contributed significantly to the capital campaign, all those foundations, all those family foundations. So any successful capital campaign in the Worcester area, you really have to have them involved. So it's just a way to kind of keep them involved a little bit too.
How many letters did you send out?
I think it's about 400.
400?
Yeah. Yeah.
Will you get a good response?
Yeah.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah. I think we will. And the goal is to increase each year. That'll be the metric we follow.
Thank you, Mo. Next item on our agenda is the Friends of the Library. Do you have any update on the Friends? I don't know, Deb, if you wanted to update us.
Just that the open house is coming up on the 7th.
Mhm.
It's really kind of geared to kids. Santa will be here. It coincides with the Yuletide market that happens later on this evening. So hopefully that will be fun. And the other big push is the International Film Festival, which will again run this February. So look for that. That's always a fun time. There'll be popcorn and something like that. So that's good. And what else? The bookstore, I think, is going pretty well. Everything's been sorted out and in neat shape downstairs, so it's in good shape right now.
I looked up all the international films you're showing, and they look wonderful.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice mix of films.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go to a
I
couple.
think Pat picked them out.
I was gonna say, who picks them?
And, yeah, so.
I don't know how they find all those interesting films, but they really look.
It's kind of intricate process because you have to get ones that are licensed to show in such a venue, so you can't just pick any film. So it is a little tricky, but yeah, they always do a good job.
Nice.
Very worthwhile.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is review and approve the 3D printing policy. So I guess this is a new policy, right, Mike?
So, no, this
No?
is.
Or it's a
the-
revised policy?
Yeah, the 3D printing policy has been around, since we've had the 3D printing service. This is really just a few things to just clean up the language a little bit. They took out a bit in the beginning about emerging technology, because
Yeah.
we've had it for like 8 years.
It's no longer.
Yeah, and this was mostly our IT folks, Hedda and Jess, who rewrote this one. There's a bit in the beginning about just setting some limits on how many files patrons can submit at a time, just because they've been getting really bombarded with jobs and slow things down a little bit. The link to the online job request form has changed, so they just changed the link and the contact email, and then there's just a bit in the section of not approved items where they clarified or just made specific that weapons and weapon parts are not allowed. Yeah. I think the rest of it is mostly just clarifying of things and making everything uniform. There's the new cost structure is in there as well. I think that was in the old version too. So it's mostly just updating language and things.
So this looked really great, Mike. My only question was, it's fairly easy to figure out when you receive a request if something is illegal, unsafe, dangerous, or inappropriate, but might not be as easy to figure out if there's a copyright violation. Are we putting the responsibility of the copyright violation on the patron? Because I see that in the lines that follow, and is that the understanding that it's on them to
Yes.
figure out? Okay, just.
Yeah, in general, I feel like with libraries, I mean, some libraries even post notices above their photocopy machines and printers about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible for librarians themselves to police patrons in that regard, so, this language is in general used for these types of policies across libraries.
Okay.
The good thing is that people aren't generally printing many copies of something that they're going to then sell.
Right, yeah.
Not that copyright violation is okay, but
Yeah.
So I have a couple questions. Is that the only machine we have, or do we have another?
No, there's a second one upstairs,
Upstairs,
the larger one, so.
And, you mentioned that you give 3 tries to something before you can't do it anymore. Is that likely the machine, or is it the kind of file, or maybe corruption in the file? Or?
So in my experience, when I used to handle things, it was kind of a mixture of different things. Some files are just very, very difficult for a sort of standard commercial grade 3D printer to do. If something's very, very intricate or very, very thin, sometimes you get files designed by young children who don't quite understand There's lovely software. The software that we teach kids how to use Tinkercad, it's very, very easy for
I'm just
anybody to
thinking
pick
of us
up.
adults who be figuring that.
Kids are probably not the ones that are the problem.
It's not something I'm getting on.
The adults who, typically the adults who are designing their own files are usually like engineers or people who are very familiar. So yeah, we've printed out some engineering prototypes. We've helped folks demo some like medical technologies and things. We even have, I don't know if you all listen to I know some of you do because you've told me, listen to our podcast. A number of episodes ago, we had interviewed, back when Dana was here, somebody who created a Shrewsbury centered Underground Railroad board game, and she had printed out, for her demo sets, she had printed out all the pieces on our 3D printer, so.
Impressive.
But yeah, so sometimes you'll get children who don't quite understand the physics of things and will design things that are just physiologically impossible to print. You know, sometimes the machine will struggle with things. As much as every company tells you all the 3D printing filament is the same stuff, it's not. There's different chemical properties to things, so sometimes stuff melts or gets a little goopier than other stuff. So if people want to print something very intricate in certain types of filament, it can cause problems. But yeah, the overwhelming majority of jobs we're able to get out the door to people.
That's great.
I think this one needs a motion to approve, right?
Yes, it would, yeah.
I can make the motion to approve it.
My second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The 3D printing policy passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then under miscellaneous, we have review and approve the half-day staff team building activities scheduled for Friday, December 20th. So could you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, yep. So this is basically just something to give the staff a chance to get a leg up on a number of projects that are just really impossible to do during the day when patrons are around. It's a lot of, we've obviously added some new staff, we've added a lot of new services, so we have a lot of junk around. So a lot of staff have mentioned over the past 6 months or a year or so that it would be great to have an opportunity to just kind of tidy and organize things. So we had a number of Priya reached out to the staff to ask some things that we would like to have time to do. So folks talked about like reorganizing the library of things cabinet. We've got so much more of that kind of stuff nowadays. We need to come up with a better way of making it more accessible. Our technical services team mentioned that they really wanted the chance to clean up they have like a sliding rack of supplies, because technical services, they're constantly going through all sorts of book repair and processing supplies. And just in general, clean up the repairing area. Youth Services mentioned they want to have an opportunity to shift some collections, which, if anybody doesn't know, that's very laborious and not complicated, but it's you got to kind of do it all in one go. Move some furniture around, organize their storage closet. I know my team would love, in the wake of the Makerspace launch, there is a lot of technology gear and such cluttering some areas, and we'd love to just have a few hours to sort that all out and get it to where it needs to go.
Mike, I love the way you guys are calling this team building activities, whereas you're working
I know.
so hard. Like this is not an icebreaker over
No.
a meal or mini golf. This is like a lot of work.
And this
It's
is stuff that they
feels
would have
good
been.
though, and it's like you really can't do it.
Yeah.
You can't all get down on the floor and do the
Exactly.
shelves. and,
Yeah,
But
team building sounds better than.
I know it does. Like we're going to be cleaning up and working hard.
But
Yeah.
you need the library building closed so you can do this kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, especially stuff like shifting or anything where you have to pull stuff out of cabinets. You can't have people tripping over it. But we've got a whole list of different tasks that people want to throw themselves into. I don't know if any of you have seen my office, I definitely could use some time to just tidy things up.
But they're two very different things. I know when I ran UA, we had a day that was a cleanup day, really. And that was to kind of get everybody's office, and accreditation is great because it not only do you clean up, you paint, and you do everything, you know.
When you don't
But-
do somebody, the dust on the
Yeah,
couch.
that's one kind of day, and it's great because it gives you a chance to kind of get organized and all that. A team building day, though, should be fun. It should be an opportunity for the staff to kind of get to know each other a little bit. You know, we would do things like what's the lock-up room, and you try to get out.
Escape from, oh my gosh.
Something like that, where people, you know, gonna have to work together in a fun way to solve a problem. And so I personally would recommend that you take back to Priya that maybe there should be a half-day scheduled sometime after the first of the year to do team building. Just, you know, and it's a different kind of
Right.
time.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think we
And it'd be a
can
fun thing.
make a motion to approve this, but also request that you actually do take some time for team building at another time as well.
I'll second that motion.
Before you do, I'm just curious as to what hours of the day on that day will
It
be
would
the half day
the same as the last time, so like 9 to 1
So
o'clock.
the morning.
Yeah.
Open.
Oh, is that when we did the breakfast?
Yeah, on that Friday, the December 20th.
Sounds
Okay, okay.
So do we have a motion to approve a half-day, 9 to 1 on Friday, December 20th?
Sure, I'll move that, yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
second? A second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
And I'll make a motion that we recommend to Priya to consider a team building day after the first of the year.
Yes, definitely. If you could, I don't think you necessarily have to
Have to have a
vote on
motion,
that,
right.
but maybe
But,
Priya
yeah.
could bring that up
Sure,
yeah, we would be in support of that.
right. We certainly appreciate that.
You know, December is coming up and in the past few years, we've had the breakfast. Is that something that we would want to entertain then?
I was thinking about that.
I think
yes.
for December 20th, maybe do something when
Yeah,
staff
maybe
is
the
there for the half.
Provide some food.
Friday before,
Yeah.
the third, so it would be the 13th.
The 13th?
No, I was saying this day that
The day that
the,
they're doing it,
the
provide
day
food.
the staff
be a
is
good day
doing
to do
something,
it.
could we do
That
something
might
then?
be
That
a
would be
good
provided
day.
for them.
Yeah.
Provide food for them for that day.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's a nice idea.
Yeah,
So like
I think,
instead of like a brunch at a certain time,
Yeah,
just
people
like
can provide
provide
snacks.
Yeah,
snacks.
they can provide
They
food.
could come and go.
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's a nice idea.
Yeah.
Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Should we do that?
let's do that.
Okay, I don't think we need to vote on that or anything, but we can just, okay, we will do that.
Okay, with it.
Yeah.
Okay, we can organize behind the scenes. Yes. Okay,
Awesome.
anything else, Mike? I think we ran through the agenda. Is there anything else you could think of?
No, I think that pretty much covers everything.
Okay. So our next meeting is December 17th. Do we have a motion to conclude the meeting?
I'll move that we adjourn the meeting.
Thank you. Can we have a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? That passes. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Jeff, for all of
Yeah.
you.
Bye, Jeff.
Thanks for
Thank
the
you.
phone, Deb.
You're welcome. See you soon.
Bye.